because he's going to be a one, and Shaper's going to be a one. And will my team be better if I trade Dobson out and I have those two players instead of Dobson? So this is how it would work at the head of the table if I was running it. I would make a call if I see Hagen's dropping to even 5 at Nashville. Nashville probably wouldn't get want a defenseman, but beyond that, I would absolutely pick up the phone and see if we can get aggressive that way and make a deal like that for sure. And it's a local kid, as you know, they want to put bodies in the seats. That's nice.
Yeah.
But you know what puts bodies in the seats even more than that? Playoff games.
Yeah.
And you got to build the right roster.
Where are you on Dobson, a guy that I have on my trade board? You can catch that on sportsnet.ca. A guy that had 70 points 2 years ago, who had great upside. I think the sense is, with an off season that he plateaued or he didn't take a next step, but it won't stop some of these guys from asking for $10 million, once they get in a position to negotiate a contract. And are the Islanders now caught between let's move him or let's sign him like a few others?
I would say yes. I would say yes to that. And when you plateau, here's my problem with where we all talk about the salary cap going up, and we all talk about guys who had great years a couple years ago, and then they plateau, and what's their value at this point in time? Players have to start to take accountability for on-ice performance in relation to their ask at the contract table. And he plateaued last year for sure, Kipper. That team, though, they were pedestrian as a group, like 32nd in both special teams units, if I'm not mistaken. Like, this was a tough watch.
Wow.
So, but he was part of that problem too, and they got to be better. He's going to ask. If it's not what I want to pay, and it's probably not, to be honest with you right now. That's why I'm entertaining all kinds of options there. The Islanders, you have to ask yourself the question. Dobson's a real good player. I really like Dobson, especially on the right shot situation. If he went to a contending team right now, trust me, he would be better than a secondary guy offensively. Well, let me throw it back at you guys this way. Evan Bouchard, for all of his offense, and he actually did play better defensively for 60% of the playoffs, I would say, for you guys, in my estimation, because I don't really like his defending. But wouldn't Dobson be in Edmonton? He wouldn't score as much, but he'd do some other things just marginally better than Bouchard. I think that's how teams would look at Dobson, right? So is he good for us, or is he good for somebody else out there? And where are we? Where is our team here? The Isles are, hey, Borny, their minor league system was atrocious this year. It's historically bad. So they got so much going on here. It's, where are we in our window, I guess? And Matthew Darche, he's got his hands full there.
It's been bad. They've been bad for a long time in the farm system, so they do have some work to do. Books, we've seen trades happening already. I wanted to get your thoughts on the trade that sent Zegras to Philadelphia. A lot of people are being like, it doesn't seem like a huge win for Anaheim compared to maybe what they could have got.
And your thoughts matter because we got in trouble yesterday for not mentioning it at all in our show.
Did we?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. Sammy, bad producing.
That's on me. That's on me, guys.
Boogs, your thoughts, pal.
I love it how he just throws it across the bow at you there, Sammy. It's unbelievable.
That's all right. It's all good. It's almost the summer, bud.
Pin cushion. Zegras is polarizing. He's a lot of flash and dash and happy-go-lucky, but it doesn't work like that when you're trying to build a culture to win. Philly can take the chance. Here's two sides of it. Philly can take the chance because they are in that mode where they can roll the dice and hope. He's got 1 year left on his deal. You hope that it works out. He's at 5-5. That's a great example, Kipper, of a guy who came off a couple of good years, signed that deal with Anaheim at 5-5, and then it caved. Hailing, he's a bottom feeder. He's a bottom six guy. It's amazing how much he's bounced around already as a player, but he's a big body. He scored, actually, on balance, whatever he had last year, 31 points, 12 goals, 19 assists, off the top of my head, something like that. He's going to give him more meat and determination at the bottom of the lineup, where Zegras is going to come into Philly and hopefully get back to somewhere close to where he was a couple years ago offensively. But boy, oh boy, Rick Tocchet, he's going to be in his office a lot. He's going to be having to get this kid to mature and not be so flamboyant, I guess is the best way. It doesn't work like that in the National Hockey League. You're on your hardest days. You can't just be happy-go-lucky. You got to have a B game. You have to have a grit game. And I'll give the kid a little bit of credit. He was only like a -8 last year in limited amount of playing time. For the past previous 2 years like that, before that was like -23, -25. So he did make more of an effort. But when he isn't engaged, oh my goodness, boy, oh boy. He looks like Willie in Toronto, Willie Nylander. You know, when Willie sometimes he, does the blow by on the forecheck or something like that. Zegras has got a lot of that in him, and it's going to be a challenge for the Flyers. So I like what Anaheim's doing, though, and you know what they're doing. They're setting up. They got $33 million in cap space. They're setting themselves up for a big signing or two here.
Books, just want to draw on your personal experience as a NHL scout here, because once upon a time, Trevor Zegras was a top 10 pick. Okay, we saw him at the World Juniors. He was a can't-miss kid. They put him on a cover of a video game, and here we are this week, and you couldn't even get a first-round pick out of him. And I don't mind Flyers taking a chance. I don't mind even Pat Verbeek saying, I can't win with this guy, I got to get rid of him. But did Verbeek just wait too long and watch this asset just keep circling the drain to the point where you couldn't even get a first-round pick back for him? What would that have done to, like, scouts with Anaheim or the organization in whole to watch such a deep an asset go down like that?
Yeah, no, it stinks. I got to be perfectly honest with you. There'll be a lot of questions asked, and the thing about it is when they went into the rebuild, they were going to be drafting the best available player no matter what. And then you're going to nurture that asset. You're going to develop them, et cetera, et cetera. Here's my take on it. You talk about video game covers. You talk about all the, like, riding around. And remember there was he's riding like a mini go-kart thing in Anaheim in the underbelly of the rink. Like, just smiley, smiley, smiley. Here's the thing, boys. On your worst day, this is how I scouted. On your worst day, and this is where I had a problem with Zegras all along. When I go scout a player, if he's high end, I know what you can do high end, right? I know what you can do. But on your worst day, I'm talking about when you fail an exam, you're feeling, crappy, you got a little bit of the flu, whatever the case may be. When I can still see you perform at a high level on your worst days, now I know I got something. I think the Anaheim Ducks went through that process of seeing him on his worst days and just recognizing that when his worst days aren't even close to good enough to help us win games, period. And they did everything they possibly could. It stinks to send that out the door. It really does. The thing about it is they've had so much draft capital and they're so far under the cap for so many years now. They're going to be able to hide that, but it doesn't feel good behind the scenes. Marty Madden, their director of scouting, he does a fantastic job, has forever, but he's not feeling good about it for sure.
So as you head towards this draft, you say that you don't talk to other people to get their opinion. You just do your own opinion.
Well, nobody's there in LA.
Well, fair enough. Even if they were, though, where does your opinion differ from the consensus in this draft?
It starts to differ. Well, I think it differs for some at number one, but if you guys watch that special on